Hello, Theodore Schubert here, giving you guys another message that you will not hear at church. I guarantee that. In Germany, again, the anti-Islam riots are growing. They're becoming more intense. People think that they're a minority, but they only grow more and more. The intensification of these protests are only increasing by the week. And just recently, the anti-Islam protest had over 18,000 people. The largest rally they have been able to convey up to date. And by my estimation, by my prediction, it's only going to get larger. The people are only going to grow more. According to the report, it says protests in Germany against immigration and the influence of Islam have attracted the largest crowds in recent campaigns so far, with 18,000 attending a rally organized by a right-wing populist movement. Ignoring calls from Chancellor Angela Merkel, because of course Angela Merkel, the supposed conservative who so many conservatives in America were praising, and I'm sure they're still praising her, she betrayed the conservative movement by saying that that the German people should not be supporting the anti-Islam protests. Well, they decided to really rub it in the old hag's face. And it says here, ignoring calls from Chancellor Angela Merkel to snub the street protest, police said the patriotic Europeans against the Islamization of the Occident, or Pegida, group drew 18,000 people in the eastern city of Dresden, up from the 17,500 that joined its last march. And from what I've been hearing from people that we know in Germany, it's probably a lot larger than 18,000, because when I reported on the last Pegida rally that had 17,500, one of our colleagues in Germany said, no, it wasn't 17,000. It was something up to, I think it was 19,000 or 20,000 people. So this is just what the media is reporting, but I'm sure if you're actually down there in the street, it's a lot more than 18,000. It says here the movement began with just a few hundred followers in October, and it started out with only about 200 people. And then in a few months, it went up to, I think it was like 1,000 or a couple thousand. And then from there, it went up to, I think, 8,000 or 9,000 and 15,000, 17,000. Now the numbers are going up to 18,000 or probably even more than that. And the rest of the report says it's the city's mayor, Jürgen Roters, said many people are against the anti-immigration, blah, blah, blah. In fact, we even had a church that shut down its lights in protest against the rally. The church should be completely for these groups. The church should not be going against these groups, because these groups are going against a movement, an ideology called Islam that wants to destroy the church, that wants to destroy Christianity. I want to play you guys a short clip that came from a recent media outlet showing the rally, just a little glimpse of it. So just wanted to show you guys that. Play the clip.
Thousands of people have taken part in a controversial anti-Islam march in Germany. Around 18,000 demonstrators rallied in the eastern city of Dresden against asylum seekers, particularly Muslims, coming into the country. The movement, organised by a group calling themselves the Patriotic Europeans Against the Islamization of the West, have been growing in popularity, and this is now the 11th week in a row a march has been held in the city. Protesters can be seen waving Germany's black, red and yellow flag and holding slogans asking for respect and tolerance of the German people. While the Dresden rallies have grown, in the rest of the country counter-demonstrations have been taking place. In Cologne there were 10 times as many people marching against the anti-Muslim protests. Germany has some of the world's most liberal asylum rules, and in the last year the number of those seeking asylum jumped to around 200,000, 4 times as many in 2012.
The church in Germany should be completely supporting this. What's sad is that much of the church in Germany, to the dismay of probably a lot of people out there who are listening, but I'm going to tell you this anyway, the church in Germany is following the legacy of Martin Luther, because when the Muslims were trying to invade Germany, when the Muslims were first trying to invade Europe, the Ottoman Empire, it was Martin Luther who said that the German people should not fight against the Muslims. Then when the Muslims were really coming into Germany and it was quite obvious that the Muslims were indeed going to invade and Luther's ass was on the line, Luther said, no, we should fight the Muslims. So my whole point is that the German people, the Western people, Christian people in general, should not be Johnny-come-latelys. We should not be the people who say, okay, now we should fight, when the threat is ever so near, it's ever so close to us. We should not be those people who come up and say, oh no, we shouldn't be fighting this, we shouldn't be doing anything, and then all of a sudden believe in fighting when it's our lives on the line. That's a very selfish position. It's from a position of self-preservation. We should not be fighting from a position of self-preservation. We should be fighting in a position for justice, fighting in a position for the advancement of Christianity, for the advancement of the divine law, for the advancement of righteousness, for the destruction of evil. And so what I ask the German people, if you are listening, if any of you from Pegida are listening to this video, what I ask you is please fight for Christianity. Do not let this be about secular morals. Do not let this be about license for licentiousness, license for perversity, license for sodomitical behavior, for pederasty, for pedophilia, license for bestiality, for people to have sex with animals and two men or two women, lesbians. Do not let this be for freedom or for anarchy. Let this be for Christianity. Let this be for Judeo-Christian values, Judeo-Christian laws, Judeo-Christian influence. Fight for the restoration, not the revival, but the restoration of Christian orthodoxy in Germany. Because I assure you, you may defeat Islam. You may win. You may have some temporary victories. But if your goal is not eternal, if your goal is not for the faith, then your victory will just be that. It will only be temporary. Because let me tell you something, ask yourselves this, why does Germany have a Muslim problem? Why does Western Europe have a Muslim problem? How did it get to a Muslim problem in the first place? Because at one point in time, Germany didn't have these problems. Ask yourself this, in the Middle Ages did Germany have a problem? In the Renaissance area did Germany have a problem? Even later on, in the 1700s, 1600s, even in the 1800s, did Germany have a Muslim problem? Did Germany have a Muslim problem only until recently? It did not have a Muslim problem. Why? What is the pattern here? It did not have a Muslim problem because in the eras in which Germany and the rest of Western Europe did not have a Muslim problem, it had strong Christianity. So in the times when Christianity was strong, Germany and other Western nations did not have a Muslim problem. This is not coincidental. This is not something that we should just ignore. The only way you're going to have a clean society, the only way you're going to have an Islam-free society is if you have a strong Christian society. As soon as Western Europe adopted feminism, as soon as Western Europe allowed feminism to sink its filthy claws into its infrastructures, into its society, into its civilization, as soon as the family became disintegrated, as soon as women's roles in the families, women's roles in the household became despised, became discarded, as soon as you began to have gender equality, as soon as you began to have women's liberation, that is when Europe began to have a Muslim problem. Look at Spain. In the 1950s, 60s, going all the way to the mid-1970s, Spain had more children than any other European country. Spanish women, Spanish families had more children than any other Western countries. Why? The church was strong in Spain. Christianity was strong in Spain. Family roles, the roles of men, the roles of women were maintained in Spain. The church had an influence in Spain. What happened in the late 1970s and going on? Feminism sunk its filthy claws into the society of Spain. The birth rate went down because women began to take the pill. What happened when women began to take the pill? They began to not seek after family. not pursue family. They began to pursue selfishness. Men also became selfish because they didn't want to have children anymore. So what happened? Birth rate went down. What does the nation do? Who's going to fill the gap? Who's going to do the labor? Who's going to do the mean-hour work? Bring the immigrants over. So I ask you, I plead with you, whoever is listening, if you are living in Western Europe, bring back Christian values. Have children. Have families. Go to church. Advance Christianity. Fix your own lives. Pursue Christianity in your own lives. Others will follow. Have Christian children. Combat the Muslims in their own game. Have Christian children. The Muslims get it. They had Muslim children. They didn't take birth control. They had children. Beat them in their own game. Logical victory. Triumph in the production victory. Produce Christian children. Bring back Christianity. And then you will see Islam completely destroyed. And then you will see a victory for your people. And then you will see a victory of the cross over the crescent. This is Theodore Schubert. I hope you guys have enjoyed this message. Hope you guys have learned something from this message. You just heard some theology. God bless and God be with us.
Als lebe ich, mir werde, sieht min sündig Gläuge sie. Das leere Land und euch die Erde, dem man so viel nicht. Wie's geschehen, des